You may already know the Nissan Magnite was just launched, and the entry-level variant of the Nissan Magnite is officially the cheapest compact SUV available in India today. So here's an exclusive walk-around review of this entry-level Nissan Magnite variant. At first glance, this entry-level variant does not look bad because the overall design remains exactly the same as the top spec variant. The features, however, are watered down, and this car does not get LED DRLs, no LED headlamps, and not even fog lamps. Instead of the L-shaped LED DRLs, you get L-shaped chrome detailing, and the headlamp design itself reminds you immediately of the Datsun Redigo. The good part, however, is that the large signature grille has not changed in terms of design, and the chrome brackets are still in place. The bumpers, however, do not get a dual tone finish. Instead, you get a black finished front and rear skid plate. Moving towards the sides, of course, immediately you get to recognize this as an entry-level variant. That's because the lack of wheel covers or alloy wheels. However, apart from that, the proportions and design details remain exactly the same as the top spec variant. These here are the 16-inch 195 section tires, exactly similar to those seen on the top spec variants as well. This is quite surprising because this engine is not very powerful and produces just 72 PS of maximum power. You of course get the Magnite badging on both the fenders at the front, and even this entry-level variant offers full body-colored door handles and silver finished roof rails. The surprising part, however, is that even this entry-level variant offers rear windshield wiper, washer and defogger, which even some higher-end cars do not offer on their entry-level variants. The rear fascia of this entry-level variant also looks very good, and you get 4 reverse parking sensors on the rear bumper. The tail lamps, however, get LED-like detailing while they are not actual LEDs. So overall, from the outside, this entry-level XE variant of the Nissan Magnite does not look too bad and looks actually pretty good overall. Well, apart from the lack of wheel covers or body-colored ORVMs, you won't be able to identify this as an entry-level variant. So let's just get inside this car now to check out the features. Yes folks, I'm right now inside the brand new Nissan Magnite entry-level XE variant with the non-turbocharged 72 PS 1 litre engine. Now this interior in the first glance itself is very airy and brighter compared to the top spec variant. That's because of this dual tone theme. However, when you compare with the hexagonal patterned smooth surface over here on the middle part of the dash on the top spec variant, this gets a textured beige material, and it personally looks better than the black dashboard according to me. So do let me know, what do you feel about this? I feel that this is much more airy and much more tasteful than the all black. So talking about the features on this entry-level variant, this entry-level variant is itself very well loaded. That's because you of course get dual airbags, ABS, EBD as standard. You also get manual air conditioning. The surprise part is that you get rear windshield defogger with wiper and washer, so that is quite a surprise. And you also get rear adjustable headrests for the passengers, so that is quite another surprising feature on this entry-level variant. Other surprising bits include of course the silver finish on the steering, typically like the top spec variant. However, you do not get steering motor audio controls. That's because there is no audio system. This gear lever also is exactly similar to the top spec variant, as I already said, and it kind of immediately reminds you of the top spec variants of the Renault Schreiber as well. You also get this contrast white stitching on the gear lever boot, and the seats themselves have a different design when you compare with the top spec variants, despite being similar in terms of shape and design. You get this sort of hexagonal pattern on the seats, and you also get this dual tone theme with sort of white textured finish on the edges, so that is quite nice again. Now, other surprising bits include all 4 power windows even on this entry-level variant. Other compact SUVs such as say the Brezza, the Nexon provide only 2 power windows for the entry-level variant. However, this, even though being a much more low-cost SUV, gets all 4 power windows, and the power windows also have say a 60-second operation kind of function. That is, even if you remove the key from the slot, well, turn off the power. Let me just slot it in first. Of course, let me just first show you the keys. Of course, this car does not get remote locking or central locking. You only get manual keys with the Nissan logo. Even the key gets the latest Nissan logo, as you can clearly see. So both the keys are exactly the same, and there is no central locking, even manual central locking. So you have to manually lock every door. So this is the instrument cluster of this car. it immediately reminds you of the Renault Triber. This center MID is exactly similar to the Renault Triber, so there is no difference over here. The display can be changed using the button on the right side at the center of this engine temperature gauge. So this car of course gets instantaneous efficiency, trip meter A, trip meter B, average mileage and so on. The speedometer is at the center in a digital format. The tachometer is on the left side in sort of a pizza kind of design. And similarly, the engine temperature gauge and the fuel gauge are also in a pizza shaped design as well. So that was all about the instrument cluster. It is a simple unit, different kind of manifestation of the design seen on the Renault Triber's instrument cluster. So that was all about that. Coming towards the power windows, of course, as I already said, you get just regular power windows on all sides. No surprise. However, even if you remove the key after driving, you can operate the power windows for 60 seconds even on this entry level variant. How surprising is that? So that is the amount of attention to detail and convenience Nissan has done, and it is really very worth it. Of course, the ORVMs do not get sort of electric adjustment or even anything. You get internal adjustment using these stalks and knobs on both the sides, so no surprise. The ORVMs themselves are pretty large in size, and even though they are not body colored, they are still okay to look at. The door handles, even though being exactly the same design as on the top spec variant, do not get chrome or silver finish, which is kind of obvious. And this car also does not receive electronic stability program, traction control, or even say speed limit control seen on the top spec variant. That's because you only get a headlamp level scroller on the right side of the steering wheel. Talking about other available features, of course, you get tilt adjustable steering wheel. The wiper stalk also has functions for the rear windshield wiper, and the headlamps are of course standard halogen units, so there is no front fog lamp as well. The good part, however, is that you get a day-night switch for the IRVM even on this entry-level variant. Many other manufacturers, say even the Tata Nexon, does not offer day-night switch for the IRVM on the entry-level variant, along with the rear power windows. They also cut down rear power windows on the entry-level variant, but still, this Nissan Magnite has a day-night switch for the IRVM along with rear power windows. So how great is that? The sun visors are of course standard units without a mirror for the driver. However, the passenger side still gets a vanity mirror. That is quite good again. The interior lights of course are exactly the same as seen on the top spec variant, which I just reviewed, and even the rear seats get a separate interior cabin lamp. So how great is that? So that was all about the interior, the front part of the interior of the Nissan Magnite. Talking about storage spaces, nothing has been compromised. Of course, you do not get a center armrest. However, even on the top spec variant, the center armrest cannot be opened. Instead of that, they have provided this cubby hole, which is much more useful, and you can store a bit of small snacks or anything over here. The cup holders remain exactly the same, and even the large bottle holders on every door remain exactly the same, along with the very large 15-liter glove box. However, there is no illumination on this entry-level variant, which is completely fine. Another good part is that the fabric finish on the door pads have been carried forward, well, of course, in a different texture and quality, even on this entry-level variant. So how really good is that? So even if you opt for the entry-level variant of the Nissan Magnite, you don't have to compromise on overall feel-good factor and quality. That is a good thing. Now let's just get to the back seat. Yes folks, I'm right now in the back seat of the brand new Nissan Magnite entry-level non-turbo variant, and this is how the dashboard looks like. In contrast to the top spec variant, this interior looks much more brighter and more tasteful with the beige color theme. So that is quite good. Again, talking about the rear seats, of course, just like the top spec variant, you get ample amount of legroom. However, this driver seat cannot be adjusted for height. That's because it's an entry-level variant. From the mid-spec variant onwards, you also get height adjustment, but not this entry-level variant. Despite that, I have adjusted the driver seat for my height, which is 5'11" for reference, and the legroom is really ample, and even the comfort is really very good thanks to adequate amount of under-thigh support. Talking about support, you of course get rear adjustable headrests even on this entry-level variant. That is good focus and attention to safety by Nissan. So that is quite a good feature. However, the rear seats themselves are exactly different when you compare with the top spec variant. That's because you do not get a center armrest, and neither do you get 60-40 split folding function. But despite that, these rear seats are adequately comfortable. The padding and overall bolstering may be slightly different with a slightly lesser bolstering at the center, but still the overall comfort is very good. The texture is also carried forward towards the rear seats. These fabrics may not be the smoothest or the softest, but they will be definitely long lasting. That's what I believe. The rear doors too get large 1 liter bottle holders, and the rear door pads, armrests, also get fabric finish, which is quite comfortable. So that was all about the back seats of the Nissan Magnite entry level non-turbo variant. This is going to be the most affordable compact SUV variant in the Indian market. Let's just open the boot to check out the luggage space, and we'll also get to see the actual difference in, say, the boot area when you compare with the top spec variants. To open the boot of the Nissan Magnite entry level variant, this car also gets electric boot release even on this entry level variant, which you can open from the driver side itself. This here is the 336 liter boot space available on all Nissan Magnites, and no difference over here. This entry level variant obviously does not get a rear parcel shelf, and it also does not get 60-40 split folding rear seats, but you of course have the option of completely flat folding the rear seats as a singular unit. The overall capacity is slightly larger than that seen on the Maruti Vitara Brezza, and on either sides you get a bag hook for your shopping. So everything has been very well thought out on the Nissan Magnite, and this here is the very same 15-inch red colored steel spare wheel similar to the top spec XV Premium variant. So that was all about the luggage space and boot capacity of the brand new Nissan Magnite entry level variant. Let's just close the boot now. Now let's take a look at the engine bay and judge the NVH of this engine. Quickly, let's just check the NVH of this non-turbocharged 72 PS Nissan Magnite entry level variant. I have slotted the key in and I have started the engine. Immediately you can notice the typical 3-cylinder rumble, and there are a certain bit of vibrations on the steering wheel and the pedals. That's because this is of course familiar, and it is exactly the same engine seen on the Renault Triber. The transmission lever also, as you can clearly see, well, if you can clearly see, has a slight bit of vibration, and once the engine settles down, this vibration is reduced. The engine idles at around 900 rpm, but it actually shows 1000 rpm. That's still completely fine, and you can notice a slight bit of vibrations even on the front seats. That's because this is typically a low cost 72 PS engine, but still when you consider the lightweight of this entry level variant, the performance is going to be just about adequate, if not very scorching, or not even as satisfying as the turbo petrol range. So this is how the engine sounds at idle. Let me just try revving it a bit. Yes, this engine is exactly the same seen on the Renault Triber, so the vibrations, the noise, the raspy note of this 3-cylinder engine is exactly the same, so no difference whatsoever. Now let me just slot it into reverse, and of course this car gets 4 reverse parking sensors, so nothing surprising. You can easily park it, and you also get the warning note despite not receiving any sort of display for the reverse parking sensors. So that was all about the NVH of this 3-cylinder non-turbocharged petrol engine. Let me just try opening the bonnet to show you the actual engine bay. So this is how the Nissan Magnite 3-cylinder non-turbocharged 72 PS engine sounds from the outside. As you can clearly hear, this is not the most smoothest or noiseless engine, but still it is going to be adequate in terms of performance. Well, let me just open the bonnet, and here you go. This is exactly the same engine seen on the Renault Triber, so no difference over here. There is the typical 3-cylinder sort of vibration going on over here, but I am sure that it will get smoother if you start revving. So this is a clear look at the 72 PS 3-cylinder engine, Energy Series engine from the Renault Triber, and it is going to be decent in terms of economy as well. So that was all about this. The bonnet also gets decent amount of padding in order to reduce the noise levels. So that was all. Let's just conclude this review once we talk about the pricing. So that was a detailed review of the entry-level XE variant of the new Nissan Magnite compact SUV, which is the latest compact SUV in the Indian market currently. If you just put aside the groundbreaking price of this entry-level variant, this car still is pretty impressive in providing standard features across all variants, while also providing decent quality and comfort as well. Yes, this may not be the most powerful engine on a compact SUV, but given this car's lower curb weight, it is going to be adequate to drive for relaxed family users. And of course, the Nissan Magnite can easily challenge all cars starting from the Tata Tiago and the Grand i10 Nios at the lower end, while also directly challenging certain proven compact SUVs such as the Tata Nexon, XUV 300 and the Kia Sonet.